Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. He's back. Back at it again with the game dev stuff. Alright. So, did I have any bright ideas when I was sleeping? Absolutely not. But I think I'm feeling refreshed. I'm feeling good. Let's get back to it, I guess. Let's get back to it. So this is going to be tough. One thing I need to check is how big does the icon, or how big should the icon be? So the icon, let's probably just make it like 64 by 64. That'd be pretty easy. So this is new icon. This will be 64 by 64. Create. And then this will just be the application icon. So what is the, it's a horse death ball. What does a horse look like again? I need a reference. Not around too many horses in my day-to-day, if you can believe that. Horse. Something like, wait, no. D, and ear. Kind of a spiky kind of thing. Nope. Something like that. Then, why the long face? Something like this. They're just making the icon. Nostrils. Something like this. And then you got the nose. You have like the weird bulbous eyes. Something like that. That's absolutely horrifying. But we're doing it. Alright. Alright, well. Boom, boom. Trying to push it out. Generally want to avoid too many jagged corners if you can. Like so. These are like the eyes. Horses have kind of weird eye sockets, I guess. Something like this. Ooh, no. Something like that. Yeah. It's alright. Looks a little demonic. Looks a little demonic, but I can accept this. This is just the outline. I'm kind of referencing. I'm referencing this photo here for anyone that's interested. Okay. We can turn this off, by the way. Just made the little interstitial screen Godot program. So this is what I'm looking at, which is just a drawing of a horse face. Let's bring that back so I can look at it at the same time. So we do need like horse, like the horse mane, to be somewhat visible on the very top. There's like something like that. Something like that. So we colored it in. Now I'm just going to uncolor it in, I guess. Something. Yeah, that's pretty much a horse. I feel like whenever I try to draw a horse, it just looks like a cow. Is it because the nostril is too big? maybe I need to like have the bottom of the... That doesn't really help. Alright, bottom layer, just so we can easily recolor. Actually, we don't need a different bottom layer, right? Since it's just one single image. Send it. Something like that. Make this one like ultra dark. And then we can also start coloring in the rest of the horse stuff. Horse ear, horse ear. I guess like this is slightly incorrect, so their eyes just don't stop there. One of these. Some lines under this to give the impression of a 3D effect almost, or like the muscles in their face. This looks like a demon. This looks like a demon goat. I have made a huge mistake. But we're living with it. Horse ear, horse ear. Absolutely horrible. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that was not a good idea. Yeah. 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 No, probably not. This is probably not a good thing. This has turned out beautifully, if I do say so myself. And then we're good. Let's give it just a big stripe for it. Looking pretty good. Looking good. Oh, we still need to color in this part as well. Oh no. Let's just give it a circle. Why not? Because it's a horse ball. Yeah. One of these. Let's make it red as well. I like the idea of just making this. Let's just go all in on like the strangeness of the icon. Yeah. Yeah. This looks like a goat. This looks like a goat, and it looks very demonic. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, well, if you inject some pink into there, now it doesn't look so bad. It looks a lot like a goat. Yeah. I keep saying yeah, but it's mostly because like the icon is kind of bothering me. Is it because it kind of has like these kind of protrusion? It looks like it has a protrusion here. Maybe I should color that in to give it, you know, a little bit of a shadow. Maybe. Perhaps. Yeah, let's do that. Let's, a little bit of shadow here. A little bit of shadow here. It's not really helping. It's okay. A little bit of a crosshatch action here. Send it. I love it. Horse icon. Save. Print. That should import properly. So oh no. Yeah. So let's try to reopen it, and we'll just look at it in the editor. Godot 334. Oh baby. From a distance, that doesn't look too bad. That doesn't look too bad. I think that's okay. And I believe, yeah. It's just a big circle. Alright, I think my coffee's ready. Let's grab some coffee. I'll be right back. You know, oh, you can go to studio mode, and then I'll just go to AFK. You know what? I'm back. I got coffee. I think I need to change my AFK layout. Yeah, AFK layout. Duplicates. This is AFK from feed. Move this here. This one needs to have cpHGD. Get out of here. That's really for game capture. We want to window capture it. Open cpace. Yeah, look at that. Transform, fit to screen, and then just kinda shrink it like that, I guess. Yeah, that's alright. So again. Okay, that's fine. Cool. So this is what we're at so far. Click on this. We kind of throw you into the game. I think it would probably be better to maybe zoom the camera in a little bit more in the combat screen. So probably like a 0.6 to 0.6. Maybe even like a 0.5. How does this feel? Oh, there's nothing in it, which makes sense. Yeah. 0.5 is okay. So we need to zoom out. I don't know. Maybe it makes more sense to keep it zoomed out. Like maybe just ultra zoom it out. So we can start here. Boom. I think this is where I might have started. So you can kind of see the, what is this? I love how they just get yeeted. It's so good. Okay. Grab some more. Oh. Boing, 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 boing. I love how they're well, if they successfully launch one of your animals, they'll just immediately pivot to hit the other ones away. That's really good as well. I like that. I like that. Audio stream player, so it is technically playing something, but I think right now we'll clear it. We'll leave it in. We'll leave just an empty audio stream in for now, but it won't do anything. And we'll call this one, I guess, just BGM. We should probably have a BGM manager. So there's multiple like kind of background music tracks that can be playing, and then we'll just try to fade into each one. I think that's probably the play, as opposed to just kind of directly cutting into the next track. Yeah. Well, we'll do that later. We'll do that later. I think right now we need to... One, this is the test scenario. Yeah, I still need to create like the rest of the game, I guess. Still need to create the rest of the game. So I think that this is okay. We do need to finish creating the rest of the GUI. So what about this? So we have, I guess the info box. So this just has like the current amount of stuff that you need to destroy. Yeah. It's really warm in here. Maybe it's just the coffee. Yeah, so this has several items in it, and then we just split it across left and right. So first one is like your current objective, perhaps. Or actually, let's do it like that. Let's do it like this, I should say. So we'll do just one V-box, and then we'll just have a bunch of other H-box containers inside of it. Yeah. So size flag, expand. And then this will be like objectives. Then this will have a label. And probably another label, huh? So just duplicate this. So this is we'll just call it label, right? And then this one is value. So that's how I like to structure my UIs, more or less. And then these need to expand, and then this one needs to expand. Yeah, okay. And then we can hard code this one to just be objective, and then value. You know, it'll be like kill this many whatevers, right? So this will be like a text field. What happens? It should. Oh, okay. So this needs to wrap. Okay, this needs to auto wrap. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we'll keep it as change me for now. Next one. This one is. So there's only ever going to be one objective on screen. Hello, Johnny Feed. Hello, hello. What's your game about? It's going all right. Kind of lost my mind last night, or I guess this morning. As it turns out, working on a single thing for 10 hours straight, it's not great for your mental state. No longer in university, so I can't pull long work hours like that anymore. But yeah, this is the game. So as you may know, the Ludum Dare theme is unstable. So based off of a pun someone made, I've decided to base my entire game around it. So it's a giant horse death ball. That's the name I'm probably gonna go with. And so you are a horse and you're trying to unstable the rest of your friends. And so here are the stables. You just kind of whack into them. And so it's also like an unstable death ball, since it's not really a ball, they just kind of gravitate towards the center. And so you can see here that we now have lots of little dudes. We can crack open the stables, grab more dudes. If you ever get hit by one of their attacks, they just kind of send your your animals flying, and they'll just go out of nowhere, come back. And then your lose condition is if you just lose all your animals. And so the hard part is trying to control your death ball you know, and complete all your objectives. And then there's another pun that I'm also just going to incorporate into the game, which is like the UN Council will kind of decide what to do, and that'll be your level selects. So it's the UN's table. Get it? It's another pun. So we're both unstabling and then UN stable. UN's table, right? It's there's levels, there's layers, like an ogre. Yeah, this is more or less the core gameplay loop. I just need to actually, unfortunately, this kind of does depend on better level design. Although I think it is kind of nice just having a lot of little animals floating around in a big ball. Wah. And so I think also a lot of levels should just be destructible, because I'm into the idea of just like, if you want to break my game, that's cool. I'm not gonna make it easy, but you can. And so you can see like this is one of the barriers. I'll have you set up all around the level, but if you want to break out of the barrier, I guess you can. So that's fun. Thank you. There's an idea here. I think I need to add the extra oomph to the gameplay. Yeah, I can relate. I started at 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. here. Only now decided to take a break. Oof. Worked for a little longer than me then. Yeah, I started when the jam started. I actually still streaming before the jam started. Just kind of waiting for it, jamming out. I wish you good luck though. Remember to take a break. I think if you don't take any breaks, you just become super unproductive. So it's better to take a break if you're feeling like you're just spinning your wheels, as they say. Yeah. So I need to finish up the kind of UI. So I need to display your current objectives. So there's a few objectives that you can have, right? So you'll have, I guess like an enemy kill counts, a building kill counts, or like a save animals counts. Or maybe, I was thinking about this, we could have like a boss, like just kill the boss. Yeah. So I think what I've gone with here with the entire data structure makes sense. So we only have, wish you luck, thank you. I've only participated in one other Ludum Dare, which was 3 years ago. It was Ludum Dare 42. So I think I placed like, was it like 200th? No, I think it was 400th overall, but out of creativity, I got like 50th, which is pretty good. Not bad for like my second ever game jam game. So I'm hoping I can do better this time. I'm hoping I can do better this time. Unfortunately, I'm not having such a great time coming up with music. Cause I don't really do chiptunes. But it looks like this kind of game looks like it would be a chiptune game. I don't know. Maybe it's because the colors are too bright. Ludum Dare was 47, somehow managed to get first place in fun. Oh baby, first place in fun. Now that's impressive. Congratulations. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do here then. Oh no. First place in fun. Now there's some competition. If you want to link your game in chat, feel free. Or if you don't want to share, I might steal some of your ideas. That's also very valid. I'm interested though. It sounds first place in fun. Alright, let's see. You can link it if you want. I'm interested, yeah. If you could link it. I just want to see. That's impressive, right? To have the first place person in fun just in chat. Yeah. Look at this. Oh, that looks very good too. Look at that. First place in fun. Ooh. 8th overall. All right. Well, you're pretty. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. 8th overall. Absolutely wild. That's really good. Probably should have led with that. Well, I still wish you good luck, you know? Making games, is there some talent to it? Yeah, but there's also a lot of hard work, and I'm sure that you work really hard in that. So, I wish you good luck. Hopefully that you can, you know, break into the top 10 once again. Hopefully I can also break into the top 10. But, what do you think about it? What do you think about it? So stable, bum. I think I need to go into these things. I'll just add another part of the script. So these all these buildings share the same script. They all do mostly the same stuff. The only thing that changes is their health and their, you know, the units that they may or may not spawn. Let's see. I think to make it easier on myself, I'm going to just create another variable. Export var flip sprite. So this is some sort of bool. So false. Then here, if flip sprite, then we'll do sprite flip h is equal to true. Or actually, we can just do like this, right? Yeah, we don't even need the if statement. So in this test scenario, what I need to do is I actually just need to unflip the scale on pretty much all of these so that the health bar stays consistent, because right now it's not. And instead, I just need to do like flip sprite. So they won't look right in the editor, but that's fine. They'll hopefully just display correctly. So let's give it a try. I'm getting distracted. So they didn't flip, so that's pretty cool. So if we go to here, combat screen, entities. I feel like this doesn't make a lot of sense to like kind of nest two Y swords inside of each other. But so it goes. So it goes. This one is flip H. I should have flipped H. Wait, no. Oh, it did work. Wait. So this one, flip sprite. This one did flip though? Yeah. Are they all sharing the same variable? Huh? I wonder, did I mess this up? So this is how they all should look. Hold on, so they all face right. Now they're all facing left. Are they sharing the same script? This one flips right. No. This one, the one in the top left corner should be facing left. I don't know. Let's do if. Oh, it's this one. I'm dumb. It's just this part. It needs to be set to flip sprite, which is just a boolean. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Turns out you can program for a living and still be pretty dumb. Which should be, hopefully, a good sign. I'm making a game about a guy whose body is unstable and collapsing, so he separated his soul from his body. You play as a soul and you can possess enemies and use their abilities to fight. Ooh. Okay. Kind of like that's like a fear, it's like a fear 3 kind of thing. So you have the point man, and then you have his brother, question mark. and his brother can possess enemies. Yeah, I'm assuming that yours isn't a 2D, so you can kind of play with the mechanics a bit more. Yeah, I think it'd be easier to make that fun for sure. What else was I thinking here? Combat screen. Never played Fear 3, unfortunately. Well, I think that's it's like, fortunately, you've never played Fear 3. I think Fear 3 is considered to be a very bad game. It's considered to be a very bad game. I've actually never played any of the Fear games, but I've read about them in Game Informer. Haha. Because when I was a kid, parents would never, I wasn't really allowed to play too many video games. But for whatever reason, my parents were like, yeah, you can read about video games if you want. So we had a few subscriptions to like Game Informer and, I'm trying to think of the other ones, I don't remember. But so I read about all the games, and that's kind of what drove me to want to make my own games. Although also, my parents didn't let me use just use a computer in general, unless it's the weekend or I needed it for schoolwork. Just imagine how much better I would be at just programming if I was actually allowed to use a computer when I was a kid. Very strange. Instead, I just played with, like the Risk board game. I used to just play with those like all day. So I would imagine up game ideas using those. So let's see. So objective will change to some sort of string, so it will be, I'm trying to think. So this is the scenario. You'll have enemy, building, save, boss, and we go to combat screen. This will change to enemy, save, kill, boss, and then you'll have targets and a current counter. So you'll like kill, objective is the boss, target 1. Feels bad. Yeah, feels bad, man. It's okay. It's okay. I think part of it, honestly, was like, I remember that like my dad was telling me like, Tim, you absolutely do not want to go into programming as a career. You should probably go into like engineering or, become a doctor or something, standard Asian stuff. Because, programming is not really super specialized. If you kind of think about it in an abstract way, you're basically just like a mechanic, but like for software. Like pretty much anyone can really learn about it. There are some tricks that you can really only get from, learning from someone who knows more. But, if all you want to do is, push something around on screen, you can just read about it, Whereas I think if you want to become like a doctor, you, you really can't just learn about it. Becoming a good programmer is just how people perceive you. Does it work, almost in the same way as a mechanic. At least as like a lay person. If a mechanic makes my car work and it works for a while, I think they're a good mechanic. In the same way, that's kind of how programming works. Now, if a doctor, you went to the doctor and they were like, hey, you got an infection on your arm, I'm gonna chop it off. It's like, technically, it works. However, I have a few problems with your solution. Oh, geez. So expand. Let's reload the screen. Yeah. So there'll be targets. So this is, yeah, target. And then do current. Yeah. That's tough. Well, I think that's actually fine, right? So target and then current. Something like that. And then on the other side, I think I'll just have like maybe like an interstitials kind of box on the far right. So boom, info box. This will be jack up the anchor to the right should be 1. This needs to be 0.7. Okay, cool. And then this is like, I guess this is just like a dialogue box. Dialogue box. Dialogue box. And then we'll have maybe like a texture rect for whoever is currently speaking. Or I guess currently thinking. Since I suppose animals don't really speak. Yeah. I think that's fine. So let's get rid of both of these. Goal, you don't need that. This one, it's pretty much just. So, we can get rid of this really quick. So the dialogue box, we'll put a H box. It'll be an H box and then some sort of texture rect. And then we'll just stretch it out, I suppose. Size flags expand, and then we'll do a label. Yeah. How's that sound? So, boom. All this stuff. Also, we'll do. Yep, that's fine. We'll align it left, and then I think we can. Oh no! Also needs to auto wrap. Yeah, kind of like something like that, right? That's okay. But for now, that's kind of extra. That's just for better. That's for extra spice on top, right? I don't feel bad if I can't do this. If I can't implement dialogue, then whatever. I think it'd be kind of neat to like whenever you destroy, like if you go into game, right, and you're like, wow, then you'll have like a call out from, you know, one of the humans and be like, they're destroying my shed or they're destroying my stable. And then when you, you know, gather more animals, you get a few more interstitials, be like, oh, they're, you know, bark, bark. Or what sounds do horses make? Neigh, neigh, neigh. Like, thank you for saving me, in parentheses. Or if one of your units gets like just absolutely yeeted, let's see if I can do that. Wow. Yeah, they kind of float away, and then you'll have like a call out, be like ah, or like nay. I've been hit. I think that'd be cool. The way I'm doing like the kind of melee attacks is super jank though, I'm not gonna lie. Look at that. I've also somewhat optimized the it's not optimized, but I've kind of cheated the AI. So because there's so many units, what they do is that they just kind of focus on the first unit that enters their detection range. So even if there's a closer unit, they'll still like try to target the first one that entered their range, if that makes sense. So I guess the enemies are somewhat suicidal, but so it goes sometimes. So it goes. Alright, let's go into here. We need to, in our setup function, grab the scenario objectives and all of that, and then kind of insert them into our objective box. Yeah, so to do read objectives and background color. So let's do, so if scenario. So we should always be passing in a scenario, although we can just try to load in a test scenario. Oh, you know what? Yeah. So if there is no scenario passed in, just so we don't break, we can always just load in this test scenario by default. So if scenario, else scenario, scenario is equal to load this thing instance, and then we'll call, oh, okay, now we can do this. So we always call entities call deferred add child scenario. And here, so, wait. No. Wait. Thinking. Thinking. If not scenario, then we want to do this. Yeah, otherwise we don't need to load in the test stuff. Yeah, okay. And then also if it's not scenario, then we need to change some of the default values for it. So this one will have objective counts. We'll make it objective, just enemy. Yeah, objective enemy, and then set the count to be something like really, really low. So set base scenario objective enemy. Well, probably just destroy. What is it? What did I call it? Building? Building? And then set the objective count to 1. So that's your default. You should never ever hit that, but because I don't have time to make it more robust, that'll have to do. So if we ever just load in the default combat screen, you'll have a way out, and then hopefully I can punt you back to the level selects really quickly. So that's kind of a stopgap. So to do, just in case we load in without a scenario. Yeah. What are the 2 warnings in the debugger, by the way? Delta. Oh, cool. So this is in death ball. Yeah, we're not really doing anything. We're just lerping. And then we're also applying a central impulse. This one, we're also not using delta. Yeah. I feel like most of the time I don't actually use delta. Although I think I should probably use delta here. What do you think? Yeah. I think that sounds good to me. Because I'm doing a raw translate on the camera, so let's just do delta times probably like probably just times 60. Yeah, so it's a bit smoother, hopefully. Yeah. Do need to add momentum, but we'll get to that. Combat screen. This is the combat screen. Hooray, no more warnings. So, go to set. No, we're already in setup. So, we can read in the color stuff. You know what? I'm going to open up VS Code. Just having one window open is not going to cut it, unfortunately. So, let's go load in Ludum Dare 49. Open up Godot tools, enable workspace. Don't need better toml. Okay. So we can open up screens. There's just the combat screen. That's pretty good. We can also open up base scenario. So I can reference this over here. Let's see. So you know what? Let's also add a run configuration, GD scripts. Is this how this works? I've never actually tried this from VS Code, but maybe it'll work. Let's see how it does. I know this works for. Oh, okay. Yeah, command failed. Path to Godot. Godot not recognized. That's fair enough. So I think I need to edit the launch.json really quick. We're just doing it live. Type request launch. How do I make this work for other things? So I know I have this working in some of my other C# projects. Yeah, this one has it. So this one has a launch.json. So how do I workspace root? What? Executable arguments path workspace root. I actually have no idea how this works. How strange. Also, for whatever reason, this happens sometimes, so I'm not able to adjust the application anymore. Something breaks, probably because of the monitor. That makes no sense, but it's only ever happened on this new monitor that I have. So something similar happens sometimes with Notepad++, so like I'm just not able to click on the application anymore. Not sure. Let's see. So color rect dot color is equal to scenario background color. So this is how I'll be able to change, right? The default background for combat screen is just this kind of dull green. But I think it might be nice to have a few different possibilities for levels. So you'll have, of course, like just a farm. That's your standard because, you know, farm animals in stables, unstabling them. Then you'll probably move into like maybe some cities. So you'll have like just concrete jungles, if you will. So it'll be a gray background. That's really the only two I have ideas for right now, but hopefully it'll come to me. It'll come to me in a dream. And by in a dream, I mean like, while I'm still conscious. Let's see, I do have to run somewhere today. It's so hard being an adult. I can't just spend 48 hours to just do a thing. Let's see. What is the node structure here? So we want to grab your objective. So you have your objective label in your whatever this is. So let's grab this. And we'll just auto load it. Or you know what? We're not gonna auto load it. We're just going to modify them just right here. So text. Actually, the text for the label doesn't need to change. It's just value. And so we'll want to match off of the objective. So var objective value. Some sort of string. We'll initialize it as an empty string as change me. That's always a good one. Which means that we need to move this. This won't have any text inside of it. So if I ever see change me, then I know that that's a problem. We'll match off of scenario, objective, and then base scenario dot objective. So there's a few that we can have. There's enemy. So if enemy, then we'll do objective value is equal to kill enemies. Or what if we do something like this? I guess final objective value. So some sort of string, and then it'll be just like a string format kind of thing. So kill. Yeah. This many. So string, number, hello, needle mouse, early stream. Yeah, it's a bit early. It's a bit early. Thanks for tuning into the super early stream though. Since it is like a 48-hour game jam, so I am trying to get as much work done as possible. While also just streaming it, just to prove that I am doing most everything on stream. Yeah, I think this makes sense. So then we'll get first word, or I guess this is verb value. Yeah, verb value, noun value. verb. So we'll have uwu. This is the noun. Noun. Owo. And then change this to noun. No, change this to verb. Here we go. So here's the idea. Is that this is the final string. Boom, boom. And then based off of whatever these values are here, so objective counts will you know, we'll be able to dynamically generate one of these based off of whatever I choose to define here. Yeah. Oh, and then we can make this an export var. I should probably do this in the editor though, because these things do have a tendency to break. Export objective. So export, that's an export var. And then this can also be an export var. Yeah, so we look at test scenario. Yeah, I should be able to, yeah, just define these by myself. So I don't even need to attach another script. I can just modify these in the editor and then just start laying out the levels as well. Yeah, look at that. He's starting to believe. So level design should be fine. All of these things. So we'll match the objective. So based off the objective, we'll be able to set the verb in the noun. So we'll kill this many enemies. And then based off of the count. So this will be scenario objective count. And I think we do want to set this to, just default that to 1. So test scenario, yeah, everything will just be 1. Base scenario, objective. Yeah, building. So verb, this is like destroy. And then the noun will be buildings. Yeah. Base scenario, objective, save, so verb, save, yeah, save this many animals, aminals, base scenario, objective, boss, boost, verb, kill, I don't know. Kill 1 bosses. kill 2 boss. Kill 3 bosses. There's not really a good way of doing this. But that's okay. Let's kill 1 boss pretty much, and just accept that the noun is gonna be kind of messed up. Or we can do if number is greater than 1, then we'll do noun is equal to bosses. Yeah. And we'll do if number is less than or equal to 1. Well, it doesn't make any sense to have less than or equal to 1. If number is, oh, we'll still do it. If number is less than or equal to 1, then noun is equal to enemy. So I'm trying to follow the expected hot path, I guess. But you know what? Yeah, I mean, that is the expected hot path. Yeah, that's fine. It's a bit weird, though. Yeah, you know what? We're going to change it around. If number is less than or equal to 1, then let's do singular boss, which is the expected path. Then here, we can finally construct the objective value. So final objective value and then we'll just slot in the noun, the number, and the verb to build our final objective text. So let's give that a try. Yeah. So here's what we're doing. What we want. It didn't work. It did not work. Oh, one uwu. Good job. So why didn't that work? If not scenario. Oh, it's because yeah, okay. So because the test scenario doesn't have a real objective. So let's do, yeah, let's just do building for test scenario, and then we'll try it again. So new game. Wait a minute. I think I did this in the wrong order. So it should be verb, number, noun. There we go. Don't start it from here. You just start it from the Godot editor. So go here, boom, boom. Destroy 1 buildings. Okay, hold on. If number is less than or equal to 1, then noun is equal to just a singular building. And then similarly, if number is less than or equal to 1, then noun is equal to singular animal. I keep messing that up. Don't start it from here. Start it from here. Destroy 1 building. I feel like this is kind of hard to read as well. Let's add another space just so that they're more spaced out. So, destroy 1 building. There we go. And so, nothing is really keeping count of how many things you've done, so I still need to do that. The UI is not going. It's not too bad. Yeah. So once I start. Wait, hold on. I'm kind of thinking now that I have the objective here. Now I don't need to have a target anymore, like a target count. We can just have like the current count. Yeah. What am I doing? I'm making this too complicated. So goal, get out of here. This current value change me, so this should be hopefully like a number. And so based off of the objective, we can do what can we do? We'll do yeah, I guess we'll just have to have like something to hook up in the combat screen so it'll know, I guess, which things to listen for. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll just have to implement like a pub sub at some point. Yeah, so like whenever something dies, it will do a thing. Maybe it'll just emit a signal. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's try that. So I'm gonna use the same pattern I usually use for these kind of things. So I don't have a pub sub handy. So instead, what we're going to do is just have a big signal script. So signal broadcaster. So this is kind of a really jank pub sub, but it'll work. So a pub sub, of course, is a publish subscribe pattern. So you have publishers who will publish to 0 or more subscribers. That's pretty much it. So the publisher does not care how many things are listening to it, much like myself. And the subscribers, they'll listen for keys that may or may not exist, I guess. Well, in this case, I do know exactly how many keys there will be, so this will be like, let's see, enemy killed, empty signal, then function. Well, yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is fine. So signal, building, destroyed, signal. What is it? Animal saved. Animal saved, I guess signal animal lost. Well, that's kind of tough. That's kind of tough. I don't think this can be a signal, right? So one of my possible objectives is to save X amount of animals, which will probably just be like, it'd be a current count of how many animals are in your current death ball. I think that's pretty easy to understand, but I cannot use the same pattern for tracking that. So enemy killed, it's easy, you know, whenever the enemy, you know, we free an enemy, we kill it, we can do signal broadcaster, broadcast the signal, and then it should just work. Similarly for buildings work pretty much the same way as enemies. Yeah, so kill tween complete, then we'll broadcast out signal broadcaster, emit signal building destroyed, something like that. Pretty easy, and then base enemy will do the same thing. So this will be signal broadcaster, emit signal, enemy killed, right? So it's basically a pub sub, and it is pretty much a pub sub, except you must emit the signal, the exact signal. The pub sub with more steps, I guess. I'll be right back. I'll need to get more coffee. Hello, I'm back. Okay, so what do we want to do for, I guess, save animals? So I think probably the death ball will just need to... So combat screen, we could subscribe, right, to a signal here, which is like current animal counts. I don't like that. What if just in the process function? So we have access to the death ball, and then we can just get the current size of the death ball, right? So units. Yeah. Let's do that. So if, or we can have a flag, basically. It's not my favorite way of doing stuff, but so it goes. So var should check or is save animals, which is a bool. set it equal to false. Then here in our process function, if is save animals, we'll do a thing to do, this is a stub. Alright, cool. This isn't really a to do, this is again just an actual note. Just in case we load in without a scenario. What was the last one? Kill boss? Yeah. Boss killed. I guess bosses are just like bigger enemies with probably more health. That's probably the idea. Let's see. Let's see. Ugh. Yeah, okay. So if it's enemy, then we will connect ourselves to... Yeah, if it's enemy, then I'll connect. Signal broadcaster. Dot... Wait, no, that's not how this works. It's signal broadcaster connect. So signal broadcaster connect to enemy killed. Connect it to ourself. And then I guess on counter. So on objective count. On I guess on counts, I guess, right? On objective count. On count objective. Counts objective. Yeah, I like that. And then we'll have just this callback here on counts objective. Can't spell. On count objective. Pretty easy. This will just be a standard just counts up. Bar objective counter. Some sort of int is equal to 0. Yeah. Okay, so ifs is save animals. Oh, hello, Koji Bear. I recognize you from a few hours ago. How's it going? It's going alright. We are, I guess, on our way to having a real game at some point. Also, made a very teeny tiny icon at the very start of this stream. It's a bit demonic though. Have you ever realized like horses just have like big black eyes? So I it looks a little suspicious, a little sus as the kids say. But that's what we're going with. You know, it's a horse, it's a ball, it looks like it's gonna kill you. It's perfect. I love it. Anyways, here's the idea. What I'm doing right now is I'm hooking up the actual, I guess, win conditions. So you have your objective, destroy one building. It's not actually listening for anything right now, but where'd my animals go? Yeah, the idea is that it should be configurable from the editor. It should be able to listen for all this stuff. So building destroyed, it'll emit a signal. And then if we, achieve our goal, then we'll play some sort of like win animation, and then we'll kick you back out to the level select screen, I guess, or I guess maybe give you the option. So like it's like press space to, I guess go to the level select something. So maybe in almost like a Katamari way, if you just want to like, keep rolling around in the level, just destroy everything, you can. So I force you to... No! My animals! Come back! Yeah. Alright. I really like how they'll just kind of like rubber band around. Wait. Is there a random duck? There is a random duck. There's just the duck. And then the one horse that's just kind of flinging around. The idea is that there will be a lot of animals, but I still need to create all the assets. So once I create all the assets, creating just more animals and configuring them will be really easy. Just I need to build out the actual gameplay first. I think the assets can come later. Yeah, there's the one duck. And the duck is actually twice as strong as the horse. Because you see how big this duck is? It's huge. It's actually, it's more or less like it's a duck size, it's a horse-sized duck. It's amazing. So this is our signal broadcaster. That makes sense. Look at this, it's beautiful. I actually, the more I look at it, the more I kind of like it. I don't know if that says more about me than the icon, but kind of into it. So, signal broadcaster. Or you know what? We can just do, we don't need to have this super long if else statement, right? We can just do signal name. Wait, no, we do need to have a super long thing because not all of these connect to signals. Yes, we don't ride horses around here, we ride ducks. Yes, it's an alternate universe where somehow animals are just able to destroy entire buildings by flinging themselves into the building. You know, it makes sense, all right? Deep lore. See, building destroyed. Self, and then on. Count objective. One of these. Save. This one doesn't actually use the signal broadcaster. We just set a flag to check. So is save animals. Yeah. There's. Let's see. Is save animals is equal to true. I almost tried to start typing with my cup of coffee in my hand. That would have been disastrous. Signal broadcaster connect. Then this one is boss killed. Same thing as the rest on count objective. Not like that. Okay, cool. And then on count objective, we'll just count up. So objective counter plus equals 1 whenever we receive that signal. Have you ever wondered though, if you were to ride a duck, wouldn't you just like fall off? Or wouldn't you get like cut by the feathers? Like, our feathers like they're somewhat pointy, almost like a human hair. If you've ever been stabbed by your own hair. Imagine riding a duck. Did you sleep at all? I did sleep. I did sleep. I slept from like 3 to 9, and then I just kind of like goofed around for 1 hour. When did I start streaming? I don't know. I've been streaming for 1 hour. I goofed around for 2 hours. Oof. I woke up at 9 a.m. local time. So you can kind of see here that it's right now almost 12. So I've, played a little Genshin Impact because I have a gambling addiction that I'm not afraid to express, although I will not tell you how much I've spent on that game. Okay, objective counter here. Private function set up. Oh, and then we can have we can display a win state. Yeah. Objective counter. Let's see, objective count. Bar expected count. We'll set it equal to like 999. We'll set it equal to 1000 for now. Why not? Because that's like an unreasonable amount to expect someone to get to. Right, and then here we can just set the expected count to be equal to scenario, or just to the number, I guess. Yeah. So expected count is equal to scenario objective count, and then we can also set the expected count here. Expected count. And so here, if objective counter is equal to or is greater than or equal to expected count, expected count, then we'll want to do some stuff. If is save animals, then we'll want to, for this one, this is a bit tougher because we need to update the, I guess, the counter. Objective counter is equal to death ball units dot size, and that will be, I can guarantee that this will always exist, so I don't need to do a null check. I can guarantee that this will always return a number greater than -1, so it'll be 0 to whatever the max integer size is. Oh, and then here we can just do a check every single frame. So if objective counter is greater than or equal to expected count, right? Since I do have to account for, you know, is save animals relies on just checking the size every frame, whereas this one is the signal event based basically. Yeah. So I think let's just put both of these here. So it's a slight performance decrease, but who cares? It probably will not make a difference. So if this is greater than that, then we want to do, let's add a function. Function display win. No, team you win, etc., etc. Display win. Win UI. Yeah, display win, I guess. Display win UI. Yeah. So we're just wrapping up all this functionality here just so it's easier for me to read and reason about. All right, so what do we want for our win UI? So this should be pretty easy. Oh, also we need to constantly update the, I guess, the objective counter, right? So what is this? This is current. Right, let's cache this value. So unready var objective counter UI. Some sort of label. Just grab that, right? And so every single frame after we set all this stuff, objective counter UI dot text is equal to the string value of objective counter. Yeah, okay. So what we should see is this: destroy one building. So if I kill one of these dudes, nothing should happen. So just gonna slowly bludgeon him with the animals. Ooh. All right, so that's still 0, as expected. But if I slam into this the stable, oh hello, Gyozen. Look at this. Cool. So now now I just need to like display some sort of win UI, and I think what I want to also add is particle effects. So give it a little bit more spice, but. How are you doing today? I don't usually stream this early, but you know how it goes. Yeah, so we've destroyed a few buildings. And I guess we'll just kind of count up. Yeah. There we go. I like that. So you have the counts for whatever your current objective is. So I can change this to be like kill like 2 enemies, and then that should just work as well. So let's give that a test. What a lot has happened, I see. Yeah, a little bit. A lot of the UI work, I think the initial idea came together pretty quickly, but making everything else work was a bit tough. Also, making enemies work was pretty tough as well. Please slap this guy one more time. There we go. I don't know. Do you think I should keep just the rotating animals kind of into it? No, come back. Don't slap my animals. I think I do like how oh, you know what? I need to have like a counter for how many animals are currently in your death ball, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, and then if you go below a certain amount, you'll I guess start to lose. So a countdown will start to occur, and if you don't have an animal in your control by the end of the countdown, then you'll enter a lose condition. Yeah, but anyways, yeah, this works. Quite nice, quite nice. Yeah, so make this a building 2, building 1 actually. So this is just the test scenario. So what do we want to do for wind conditions? And I also need to have one more gooey thing, which is the current count of your death ball. So let's add panel container, and I'll probably just slap this at the very top, or maybe in the middle. Yeah, maybe in the middle. Yeah. And we'll just also make this like an absolutely huge font. So animals 1, 2, 3, you know? So animal count. Or I guess unit counts. Unit count. Don't want to make it just animals. Because what if I want to add like humans into the mix? What if some humans want to join the animal death ball? We don't discriminate here. Make it 4. This needs to be 0.6. Slap this all the way down to the bottom here. I think that was 0.8. 1. Margins of 10, 10, negative 10, negative 10. That. And I guess these things can actually start expanding out as well to the middle, so then we'll just have, yeah, basically just like a lower bar, right? So this is 0.4, this needs to go out to 0.4, so yeah, we'll just have like a lower bar, that's fine. And get rid of, oh actually, the unit count needs to not have left or right margins. 0.6. Yeah. Unit count, get rid of left margin, right margin, so now they're all equally spaced out. How nice. I think I do want to have like the kind of unit interstitials, so the dialogue box. I think that would add a lot of fluff to the game, which is nice. Oh no, please don't destroy my stable, my animals. No, you know? I like that. I'm also getting distracted. I need to do the win screen and also the lose screen. Okay. But I also want to do this. There's so many things that need to be done. Let's make a note. Also, check out this icon. I've showed this off once, but how does this icon make you feel? Does it awaken anything in you? This is going to be the game icon. It's pretty good, I think. You know, actually, it kind of looks like one of those like the cross stitches. You know what I'm saying? Or when, you know, it's a, I don't know. Is it called cross stitching? Anyways, yeah, like, did you know, like, horses, if you look at a picture of a horse, they have like these big black eyes. It's weird. It kind of looks like a demon, which I think is fine because the name of the game is Giant Horse Death Ball. So this is a ball. This is a horse. It's probably. It looks like it wants to. It looks demonic. I'm into it. Let's add a label. Label, and then probably just like 2 labels, huh? So a double label. So this is. We'll call this a value. That's kind of just how I do all of these. Size flags, expand, expand, fill, expand. Then this one is also expand, expand, fill, expand, expand, expand. And then this needs to be center aligned. Center align. Or you know what? These can just all be top aligned. Cross stitching, yes. I know things sometimes. I only know the basics of sewing though. Basically how to like reattach your button to your coat if you if you're wearing like a jacket, a fancy jacket. I guess death ball counts. Death ball counts. And then these needs to be center aligned. Actually, you know what? Let's just center align everything. So we'll start at -1. Oh, thank you very much for redeeming a hydrate. Koji Bear, let's drink 200 milliliters of water. Ugh. Ugh. Sorry for burping into the mic. Ugh. Just drank like a entire pot of coffee on an empty stomach. I'm feeling it. And speaking of that, I do need to use the restroom. Oh god. It's run straight through me. Alright, BRB. I'm back. I'm back. Being able to sew back a button is a really useful skill. I already mentioned that before. Anyways, I know how to do that okay. I do know that if you're not really sure what to do when you're sewing back a button, just do like, just kind of do it in like an X format. X formation a few times. So you kind of like super reinforce it. So you use a lot more thread, but hopefully it won't break again. At least until you can get someone who actually knows what they're doing to help you out. Broke the duck's neck, not that much. Want to see something cool? So we do something like this. Ooh. Hello. How are you doing? How are you doing? Anyways, look at that. Look at that. Let's see your VTuber software do that. But because I wrote this, There are no checks on how far you can bend your neck, which is both a blessing and a curse. Some might call it blurst. Let's grab the unit count and we'll slap it into here, I guess. Already var unit count UI, some sort of label, and then we'll just have to update that every single time. Just casually snap your neck, no big deal. You want to see something even better? Is that it also works with real like anime models. Check this out. I love displaying this. Oh, so this is like just the default, by the way. This is like the raw tracking data. Hello, how are you doing? You all right? Hello, I am now anime girl. And then we can do the same thing. Just kind of rotate your neck in a weird position. Oh geez. Hello. I am now a spider. Hello. How do you do? What if I just stream like this for the rest of the time? Find you a girl who can do something like this for you. Just bend over, twist their spinal cord all the way around. Anyways, let's go back to the duck. Oh, break your neck really quick. There we go. Anyways, if you're interested, you can whatchamacallit? You can find the software on my GitHub in my description down below under the name OpenCPHGD. So it should come with everything that you need to start. So the duck is just the standard model because I can show that off because it is just mine. Let's see. Oh, here we can do death ball. So unit count UI. Hold on. Yeah, unit count UI dot text is equal to death ball units size. Let's string it as well. Something like that. Or you know what? I think we should just get the unit size, right? We should just store the unit counts. So var unit count, some sort of integer, we'll set it equal to 0, and then we can do, I guess, just update this once. So we only need to calculate it once, which is nice. Death ball units size, and here unit count UI text is equal to the unit count, and here we can choose to update the objective counter if the objective is to save the animals. Yeah, objective counter UI is equal to the objective counter. Yeah. This is a bit confusing, but don't worry about it. You can only ever have one objective at a time, so that's fine. Go here. So what I should see is the death ball counts. Yeah, so we start off with 2. So we can start breaking some buildings. Destroy one building. Look at that. Destroy one building. Death ball counts 4. Yeah. And now we need a dialogue. So we can either have just kind of idle dialogue, or we can have kind of targeted dialogue. So whenever like your units get hit away, we can have them like cry out, be like, no, or quack parentheses no. Or have the enemies be like, don't destroy my stables. Yeah, and then that means I'll also need to create more UI stuff for that. Let's see, custom fonts. I feel like this needs to be like, I guess, big text. Let's do like a big text kind of thing. Isn't one of these already big text? Yeah, this is big text, but that's giant. We don't want that. Let's do custom fonts. New dynamic fonts. Fonts is assets Kenny Future. So this is allowed, by the way, by Ludum. You are allowed to use pre-made fonts. Had to check it. So it's not cheating. Because, you know, making your own fonts, that's tough, man. That's tough. So this is combat, screen. Yeah, combat, screen, death ball, count, font. Hold on, that's not right. Wait a minute. I think I did that in the wrong order. I think I did that in the wrong order. Yeah, I 100% did that in the wrong order. Combat screen. Wait, no. Did I? If I load in this, what does this give me? Yeah, I did that in the wrong order. So let's clear this. Clear that font. Get rid of this as well. Move the trash. Save. New dynamic fonts. Don't mess this up. Fonts. Load in. Kenny Future one. Give this a save. Then save this specific dynamic fonts as combat, screen, death ball, count, font. Yes. Now that's what I did last time, isn't it? Confusing myself. Make this bigger. Make this, yeah, 30. 30 is pretty good. And so we can use the same fonts for both of these. So load in assets, whatever this is. Oh geez, it's a bit too big. I don't know. We can adjust both of these at once, I guess. You know what? 30. I don't know. Let's make, oh geez. Let's make this unique. So then we can just mess with the, I guess, the font size ourselves. Okay, so it's a bit bigger than the other ones, and that's good. Then this one we can just change wholesale. 32, yeah. So it should be easy to read, that's the hope. So death ball counts, big 2. Destroy one building. So just kind of slap your animals into there. You can see your death ball count updates. Okay, cool. Very good. Now let's create the win screen. So this is your GUI. Now we need to have kind of some overlays to I guess denote that you either won or lost, or your win or your loss. So let's do a canvas layer. So this will just display over everything. So this is results, result screen, result overlay. Yeah, result overlay. Save this as result overlay in screens. Yeah, result overlay. And so there's 2 overlays that you can possibly have, and we'll just kind of load them both in at once. Let's add a script to it really quick. So then, I think it's somewhat unlikely that you'll lose. I don't think having a draw, it's impossible to draw, because I'll just let you win. So var is win is equal to true, so just win by default. So let's see, what do we want? I'm thinking. We can have channel container, and we'll do anchors of all the way across, up, no, hold on, up, a little bit like that, bottom. Yeah, we'll just give it like the minimum bottom amount, and then it'll just kind of scroll across the entire screen, right? And then we'll have a label inside of this, perhaps, which is just like, I don't know, that doesn't seem right to me. What if we just have a label and it'll scroll across the screen being like you win, congratulations, you have defeated a great game. I don't know. What would you want the win screen to look like? I think what I don't want is having just like the big text take up the entire screen being like press spacebar to continue. I think, yeah, probably just something in the top. It'll be like, you win, press space to continue. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's do that. So we'll do just a V-box. It'll try to be as unintrusive as possible. He says as he is probably gonna make this just center aligned. It's in the center. Yeah. Let's see, top, bottom. Yeah, that's fine. Margins, we'll do just top margin of 10, bottom margin of -10. Yeah. Top 2, 0.1. Yeah, something like that. So it'll display in the top portion of your screen here. And we'll have two labels, and then we'll just kind of decide what to do with those. So label 1 and then label 2. So this is your result text, or this is just your result, I guess, and then this is I guess your instruction at this point. Right. This will auto wrap. This one will. Yeah. No, that's pretty much it, right? So your results will be like you win or you lose, and then the instruction will either be press spacebar. Well, yeah, it'll be press spacebar to go to level select, or if you lost, it'll be press spacebar to retry. Yeah. Now we're thinking. Now we're thinking. So let's grab the result. On ready. Bar result label. One of these, and then this one is on ready instruction label instruction. There we go. And then we'll just have, you know, the two things. So const, this will be the, I guess, win text string. So like, you win. Because you win. It's in my name. Lose text. Loose, not loose. Lose text. Or you lose. I'm sorry. You lose sounds a bit harsh, but whatever. Instruction. Win instruction. Let's see. Press spacebar to continue. Press spacebar to go to press spacebar to go to next screen, or lose instruction, which is press spacebar to retry. Let's make it excited. You win or you lose, and then no proper function. Let's use proper punctuation. I like punctuation. So based on if is win, then we'll just insert the win text into result text is equal to win text, and then instruction text is equal to win instruction, else result text is equal to lose text, instruction text is equal to lose instruction. Yeah, something like that. And then we can also have something here. So it'll be unhandled input. So this is going to be some sort of input event. Actually, this will just be like a regular input event. We are just listening for your input. So if input events is spacebar, so this is UI select. No, we'll just do result screen or combat result accept, I guess. So this will be the space bar. Yeah. Right, because I was considering what if I just make it like click anywhere to continue, but nah. If you want to just continue destroying the level, that's up to you. So if event is action pressed, combat result accept, then we'll do something. Probably go into the signal broadcaster that I'm using as a pub sub, and we'll do signal combat screen accept combat screen result combat result accept. Yeah, result overlay. We'll do combat result accept signal broadcaster emit signal combat result accept. No parameters, and that's it. And then hopefully combat screen should already be hooked up for that. So signal broadcaster is connect combat result accept self on combat result accept. Yeah, there we go. Easy. So function on combat result accept. No parameters. And let's see, this is just the method stuff. So the idea is that we'll go to some sort of level select screen, and then there's a pun that I've planned out for that. So there's the unstable, but with selective capitalization, so it's the UNs table. And so it'll be maybe some sort of really simple like dialogue tree, be like, oh, what should we do to combat the growing animal death ball? Let's send in a tank, and then the next level will be like a tank or something, you know? So you can kind of choose what you want to fight next. Yeah. I like that. Well, let's grab the results overlay. Like here, copy path. We want to preload it, I think. So const. This is results. Oh, hello, boys, JK. How are you doing today? You know, I was thinking that you were Just Get It. I'm not sure who Just Get It is. It's someone who's changed their name. I'm not sure who it is. I've worked on this Ludum Dare submission for pretty much 12 hours now. I put in 10 hours yesterday, starting from 6 p.m. Eastern time, but I've now almost put in 2 hours today. I'm good. What's how you? I'm doing pretty good. Doing all right. Started losing my mind a little yesterday after 12 a.m. Or I guess this morning after 12 a.m. But we're back. We're refreshed. No longer have that university student mindset of just being able to stay up for forever, which is understandable because I'm a few years out of university. It's a result overlay. This is a pack scene, so we'll just do on combat. No, on display UI, win UI, or I guess result UI, huh? Well, it's both of these. So there's display win UI, and then there's, or I guess we can do display results, and then there's like is win, which is some sort of boolean. So I do need to make it explicit. Then this is the result. Some sort of canvas layer is equal to result overlay instance, right? Then we'll do results is win is equal to whatever the parameter was. Then we'll call deferred, add child, the result. And there we go. Yeah. So wherever display win UI is, I need to replace that with this. True. Yeah. And then I do need to build in the lose state as well. So really the only lose state is if you don't have any animals in your death ball. So this is what we're working with right now. So giant horse death ball is the game name. It's pretty good. Looks a bit barren right now. You win, press spacebar to go to the next screen. Phenomenal. Alright. So grab all your animals. So now, you can choose to go to the next screen, or you can just keep playing the current level. Boing, boing, boing. Death ball count 5. I think I need to have like a better way to handle death balls. So like when you get more animals, they probably should not like immediately join your death ball. You might have to like hover over them and then you'll capture them eventually. And that's what would make it difficult. I can kind of see though that it's starting to get a little framey, which is worrying me. Because this is going to be an HTML5 export. So alright. Let's see. So lose condition, we'll do, one result overlay, we need to change how this is displayed. This will be, let's see, this should have a theme. So we'll go into assets, just use the default theme, which is main theme. And now all of these should use, the standard text. So let's give that one more try, see how that looks. Might have to make the text bigger, otherwise it might be too small. So just slap all the enemies into here. You win! Press spacebar to go to the next screen. It doesn't do anything, but that's fine. Let's actually set a breakpoint and see if we're actually hitting that, just in case. Sometimes we don't. So, boom. Huzzah, it works. And then also combat screen should be hitting that. Actually, I don't think that's how that works. Okay, it is how that works. Nice. Send it. Goodbye. Okay. So now we just need a lose condition, and then that's pretty much combat taken care of. There's still a few to-dos. Let's see, combat result. Yeah, so there's this one. We don't have a next screen to go to. 2, I think camera movement needs more momentum. And then also I think we need to adjust it by your current zoom value. Yeah, okay, so let's do let's have like a, I guess, panic text, where like if you have less than this amount of animals, you need to hurry up and get one, otherwise you'll lose. So in combat screen, How do I want to do that? I could add just like another piece of UI, but that's starting to get a little cluttered. What if I just replace all of this with like a different UI, if that makes sense? So this is like if you ever go below 0, or if you ever go below 1 animal in your current death ball, yeah, we'll replace it with, I guess, countdown. So this is don't change this. Oh, we can change it, but I'll need to remember the change. Death ball counter, so this needs to change here. Death ball counter. Where is it? Unit count. Death ball counter. So that should be fine. And then this one is countdown. So this one will be no animals where death ball is death ball has been dissolved. Is dissolved. Oh geez. Auto wrap. Send me. Death ball is dissolved. Losing. Death ball is dissolved, losing in. Death ball is dissolved. Yeah, I think that's fine. And then we'll just need to change this to be like losing in this amount of time. So we'll do. Yeah, we can keep this like that. So we'll grab this. This is the lose counter. So on ready var units, or I guess the lose counter UI. Enable is one of these. Let's see. Yeah. So now my variables are just starting to go over the place. So lose time. So if you don't get a new unit within, I guess, 5 seconds, I'll give you 5 seconds. I think that's actually really, really generous. Oh, hello, again. I'm trying to code in Unity. Very nice. Unity is a very popular choice. Lose counter is equal to 0, 0. So here we go. Let's see if what's randomized minion? Is there a randomized minion? Oh, okay. You mean in like the channel points? I only made a get component for the rigid body. Oh baby. Yeah, randomized minion. So this is, oh geez, not this one. This one. So you can kind of see here that I can. Let me grab myself. I can just change you like that. But I've also hooked this into channel point rewards, or yeah, channel points, so that you can just press these buttons by yourself, more or less. Yeah. So you can also send commands like in custom commands. So if you do like jump, small, random, one of those, it should just send you. If you make yourself small once though, it does make you disappear. But yeah, if you make yourself small enough, you can just turn upside down, because I'm just adding negative 0.1 to your scale. So eventually you go into negative scaling and then you'll be upside down. Yeah, I do need to extend it with just more commands. Yeah. I should also mention that it is possible for you to just roll to re-randomize into the same thing. Sometimes that happens. I'm not sure where you are. Where are you? This is, you're behind boys JK. I don't know how to get to you. There we go. Disappeared. Oh, we found you. You're right there. Where'd you go? Now you, oh no, now you're a duck. Congratulations. You've done it. Real duck hours out here. So if UI counts, blah blah, UI count, or unit counts. Okay. So we can do if unit counts is, hold on. This is death ball counter and then countdown. So unit count UI. So on ready, bar, death ball counter container. This is a V box. And then we'll do death ball counter. Yeah. It's cool how Godot can make non-games. I know someone who's making their own game engine, they're like using a Unity-like interface and it looks good. Yeah, well, it looks like most game engines just use roughly the same interface, because there's really only a few ways to do a good interface, you know? So there's like the Unity style, which I feel like a lot of game engines just kind of copy, because it's a good one. Then there's like the Unreal Engine style, which I believe Lumberyard, or I guess what old Lumberyard at least, used to use. Down. Yeah, but I suppose a reminder that pretty much any game engine can be used to make non-games, right? I think Unity for a little while was used for like car simulations or something like that. What was it, on The Mandalorian, that TV show? I've never watched it, but I heard it's good. I don't have HBO Max, but they use Unreal Engine to do some of the CGI or something. All right. So death ball counter container. So we'll just have another if statement. This is starting to turn into garbage. If unit counter is less than 1, death ball counter container visible is equal to false. Countdown container visible is equal to true. And then I guess we'll just start counting. Else do all of this, but in reverse. I guess countdown. What is it? Lose counter. Lose counter plus equals, or no, lose counter is equal to 0, right, in this instance. So if you have a unit count greater than 1, or no, unit counts, yeah, 1 greater than or equal to 1, then your lose counter will be 0. Easy. Let's see. I hope that these are like no ops. I'm actually not sure how that works in Godot. I believe these are actually operations though, so this does incur a cost, but it's fine. So lose counter plus equals delta. So the delta is just the time between each frame, so that's fine. If lose counter is greater than lose time, then we want to, I guess, display, what is it called? Display results false. Something like that. Display results false. And then we also want to, I guess, just get out. Somehow, like, just skip all of this stuff. Yeah. We can just have it has lost. Has lost. And not has lost. Do this, and then has lost is equal to true. This is horrible. I hate this. But we need to go faster. We need to go faster. So this is just a flag. So if it lose counter is greater than lose time and we have not lost yet, then display the lose results and also display has lost. Or changes the true so that we don't call this twice. It's easy enough. And then we want to change lose counter UI to be equal to string lose counter. Something like that. So let's give that a test. So now we have a win and lose condition. I don't know. Please hit my units so I can test out losing. Don't kill him. He's too young. Oh, wait. This is the wrong order. You lose. Also, this is the wrong order. So this needs to be lose time minus that. Yeah, and then we'll just clamp it to... Let's do clamp, lose time, blah, blah. So this needs to be minimum is 0, maximum is lose time. There we go. I think, how would you string formats by like significant figures or whatever? So I only want to have sig figs of maybe just whole numbers. What if I do this? No, I can't clamp it like that. I can clamp this value here, or I can round down. I can floor the value. Yeah, let's floor it. So floor this. So that's kind of a complicated system. I don't like it. Let me be the first to tell you that it's not great. So this is where we're at. Trigger all these units so that they will hopefully start their attack. Oh, okay. So we have 1, so we're still alive. Please attack me one more time so I can test out this stuff. Boing. Okay, there we go. I think that's fine. You lose, press spacebar to retry. I like that. That's good enough. It's kind of ugly right now, for sure. Mostly because don't really have too many like graphics. But once I get graphics, it'll be sick. Or not graphics. Yeah, it is graphics, so we need like things to display on the floor behind everything. So it's not just like a green void. Yeah, okay, we want something like this. This is good. So let's test this one more time. Last time. Boom, boom. So we just need to destroy one building. I need to see how this looks. Oh geez, that's huge. I guess that's fine. Let's make this 0.3, 0.7, so it doesn't take up as much space. Now we're just kind of tweaking the combat stuff. So windscreen. Bash this down. You win, press spacebar to go to the next screen. That looks very similar. That's fine. Deathball count 2. Are you able to lose, by the way? What happens? Oh, that's good. So you're able to win and then lose. So I need to have another flag, I guess. I should probably put the flag here. Has lost or has won. Oh, yeah, has lost. And then we can have just another flag. Has won. So false. So boom, boom. That's fine. And then here, if you ever win, then we'll set the flag somewhere. Where is it? Has won is equal to true. And then in display results, we'll just do if not has won and not has lost. Then we'll do all of this. Wait, no. Wait. No, that's false. Wait. That doesn't make sense. That logic made no sense. We need to set this here. Okay, so here. So we have the two flags, and then bring it back. If not has won and not has lost. I can't just control Z since I've done other things in the meantime. So if not has won, blah blah blah. We'll call it that, and then match is win. So true, then has won is equal to true. False has lost is equal to true. Easy. I think that should work, but let's test it once to just make sure that doesn't break. Yeah, so this is just the general game logic. So the level layout has nothing to do with any of that. You win. Very good. Death ball count 2. Hit me. Send me. We need to wait 5 seconds. Death ball is dissolved, but you should not lose. Yeah, okay. Nice. So let's save states. We have a debugger for signal declared but never emitted. Okay. Let's get rid of those really quick. So I am emitting them. I just don't emit them in the same thing. So where is it? Debug, GD script, unused signal. Don't care. Let's go into here. Get status. Get add all. Get commit. Add icon, add win, lose, conditions. What else did I do? Add result overlay. Yeah, okay, that's pretty much it. Git push. There we go. All right. So that's basically it. Then we have like test scenarios, test whatevers. Hello? Rogue Knight, good morning, I mean afternoon. Good whatever time of day it is for you as well. I suppose it's evening for you. It's afternoon for me. Let's take a sip of water, by the way. How are you doing on your project, Rogue Knight? Still haven't eaten anything today, so that coffee is still working its way through me. I can feel it. Test scenario. This is just a base scenario. I think I need to have a tutorial level at some point. Level design, it should be pretty quick, I think. Should be pretty quick. I think I have enough time to push that off. Story time spoiler, a nod to Undertale and Doki Doki. Very nice. So it's I guess, would it be like Undertale style, I guess, combat? So you kind of move around in a box, but then it's also like mixed with a visual novel. Is this correct? Did I do it? Result overlay. So we'll have two screens, by the way. This is the design. So this is the one part, the animal breakout, and then we'll have basically your level select, which will be something else. Let's see. Won't spoil it any further, but it's super retro. Okay. I got you. Let's see. I need to do... How do I want to do this? Probably going to be a canvas layer. So this will be, we'll call it level select. Right, and then we'll just kind of throw a color rect into here. Full rect. Make it like a, it's kind of a bluish, right? Because this is supposed to be like a, I don't know, like a UN, whatever. So this is level select. Level select. Of course, with all like change screen stuff, we'll need to call this appropriately. So level select. How this will work is in here on combat results except we'll do match. Well, hold on. If is or has one, then we'll, let's see. Var level select equal. It'll be some sort of node. Easy enough. Equals load whatever this is. Instance. I suppose we should actually cache this value. So let's go to result overlay. This is const level select packed scene reload. Let's see, boom boom boom. Level select instance. We'll need to pass in a few things there and then do like a let's see. How do I access main screen? I forget how my code works. Okay, we just have access to main. Okay, nice. So we'll do app manager main dot change screen. Why don't I have? Okay, I just have to assume. So main dot change screen a level select. And so to do, we need to pass in some parameters. To do pass params to level select. And then else. I guess we'll just reload the current scene. Yeah. So we'll do combat screen. I'm not sure what will happen if I guess I preload this into itself. I think that's like a circular reference if I preload the pack scene into itself. I don't want to that seems like an error to me, so instead what I'm going to do is do combat screen, some sort of node, and then we'll just load this in. An instance combat screen dot scenario is equal to scenario. So we just copy our scenario to the new combat screen and then do app manager main change screen combat screen. Something like that. And then we can make this even more efficient. So this is the new screen, which is some sort of node. App manager main change screen to the new screen. Yeah, there we go. How nice. So we take out all this. This needs to be result. Then this one is pretty similar. What is this problem? Oh, new screen, not result. Then this one is new screen. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I like it. So let's test that out. We should just be able to move over to the next screen, very arcade-like. So boom, boom. Just destroy the one building since this is our test level. Boom. Press spacebar. Yeah, there we go. No transition. Just instantly send yourself. All right. I actually do need to get going a little bit, but I'm waiting on someone to respond to me. So it'll be a short stream, but I will be streaming again once I guess wake up again. Or not wake up again, once I get back from my whatevers. From my prior commitments. So level select. What do we want to have here? I think we can have just a big title. Maybe like a big scroll. So we'll have, I guess, just labels scroll across the top of the screen, which will be like the UN's table. So let's see. We also need to have several UI elements that will hopefully be somewhat randomized. I don't know. How do we want to do this? So it's going to be a level select screen. You know what? What if I change this to be a node 2D? Right, and then we add a canvas layer. Nope, that's a canvas modulate. Canvas layer. Canvas layer, color rect, full rect. This needs to change. Oh, level select doesn't actually have a script yet, so add a script to level select. Do we need to add a camera to it? So this is just the background. That's easy. That doesn't need to change. Or you know what? We could make it change. So like the color will start as like a blue, and I guess the more points you have or whatever, it'll change the color of the background. So it'll be a slow slide from like kind of a light bluish to a red. So I guess that will also indicate like the difficulty. Camera 2D, this will be your current camera. I think I want to probably zoom it in like at 0.5, 0.5. Maybe even closer, but we'll need to think about it. And then we can just reuse a lot of the other stuff. I think this is the more I look at it, man, the more I look at this icon, the more I like it. Maybe that just makes me the weirdo. But yeah, we'll also just spawn in like a random assortment of enemies that will just kind of stand around the table. So we'll have a table somewhere in the middle, and then you can select. We'll have like a drop down in the very middle. And we'll just like, all right, how do you want to respond to the current threat? And then we'll have, I don't know, like a text box somewhere. Should be pretty easy. So this is the background. This is I guess the UI. Dialogue, maybe? UI. Yeah, let's just have a different canvas layer entirely, just to separate it. So this is I guess the UI. So we'll have panel container, fairly easy, add a theme to it, and we're getting there. We're getting there. Margin, no margins. Anchor, let's do 0.3, 0.7, 0.3, 0.7, and then top will need to be 0.3, 0.2, and 0.5. So you only have a few options, I guess, on how to respond to the current threat, and then that's pretty much your level select. Like, do you want to go into, like, do you want to, I don't know, like do like an enemy kill council, send in more troops, or I don't know, protect our buildings. Yeah, and that's how you'll respond to the animal death ball threats. Yeah? Yeah, okay. So, V-Box. And then Not the best solution, but this is what I've got. This is what I've got. So each button will do size flags, expand. So these will just be choices. So these are your 3 choices. And then sometimes they'll just randomize it on you as well. So like if you do like an enemy kill count, sometimes it'll be like kill this many enemies, or sometimes it'll just be like a boss and you need to fight a boss. And bosses will just be basic enemies, so there'll be one of these enemies. should not drag. These buttons, I don't know. This is just option 1. I don't even know why I'm deciding to do this. Option 3, and then maybe we can just have a lot of options, right? And we'll have the illusion of choice. So we'll still kind of play into the like the gaslighting the player thought process, right? Maybe that'll be kind of cool. Let's drop someone into here. Actually, since I'm just hand animating everything, what if I just do this? Just hit it with just a regular node. Oh, that's a node 2D, by the way. I messed up. So we go into here, just a regular node, and then these are just your people. These are your entities. Oh, you know what? This needs to be a Y sort. I messed up. This needs to be a Y sort. How do I change type? Y sort. So we are going to be Y sorting a bunch of sprites. So here we go. Sprite 1. Move you over here. And this is how we're going to be kind of cheating. Is that instead of actually having these move around in like a random order, instead they're just going to follow an animation player somewhere. Yeah. But if I was actually working on this, I think what I would want to do is have them just kind of pseudo randomly wander around. But I think this is good enough. Let's also move the camera in a bit closer. It looks a bit too far panned out. Maybe a bit closer, 0.3. Yeah, so we'll just have these little sprites move around. So then in the animation player, let's call it just run. Right? It'll have it run on a loop. It'll be a really long loop as well. So probably like a 30-second loop or something. So here's the idea: is we have the sprites, and what we want to do is we want to keyframe the location and also the I guess the flip H, right? So this is, yeah, these are basically just sprites. So inside of here, we want to grab the animation player and then just run. What did I call it? Run? Yeah, okay. So animation player. Play. Run. Yeah, there we go. And it'll play on a 30-second loop, and then they'll basically just either walk around the table or they'll just bounce up and down. With the kind of slowly meander around, if you know what I'm saying. So this is insert. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is fine. So do sprites, and then also have your flip H sets. So that's your starting position, and then you'll kind of wander around to like 10. Maybe here, so like wander here to 5. Wander here at like 8. Flip H as well. Then at 10, you'll kind of be here. Yeah. So you kind of, you kind of like slide around. Oh, you know what? This needs to be flip H. Here. This needs to go away. Wait, no. This needs to go here. And then we'll just have you kind of slowly make your way back. Where are you, by the way? Boom, boom. Yeah. Turn you around. 25. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. Hello, Anwa. How are you doing today? Up early again? Are you talking about yourself or me? At the middle of the day for me, but I don't usually stream on Saturdays. Tend to be doing other stuff, but you know, here we are. Look at this, we made a lot of progress. So now we have a slightly better UI. Destroy one building. Why? As in, like, why don't I usually stream on Saturdays? I don't know. I like to play video games on my days off. So I try to avoid. I also try to avoid streaming video games on Twitch, if only because I don't know. I feel like most of my audience is here just to watch me program and maybe to hear me talk at the same time. You? Oh, me. Yeah. Anyways, check it out. So we have a win condition. So destroy one buildings, but if you just want to keep playing, I'll let you keep playing as well. So, and also have already verified that it's impossible for you to, I guess, lose after you win. Because that used to be possible. So we can see here that we have a death ball count in the bottom middle. So I'm waiting for this guy to attack me. Death ball is dissolved. So usually that would bring you to like a lose screen, but we're not there yet. I do kind of like how the enemies will just kind of like suicide into to the animals. Anyways, now we're here. Look at this. Oh no. Wait a minute. Where's my other sprite? Oh, is it showing? Where is it? Where are you? It's a bit weird. Why can't I see it? So panel container, you are at position 480. I don't know, that's weird. If I hide the background, can I see it? If I hide this, can I see it? That's weird. So the hope was that with this camera 2D, right? We're super zoomed in, so that might have something to do with it. But this is how it would look, is that I kind of cheat the system. So I'm kind of mimicking real movement. Or I guess random movement, so that you have just a little player kind of slide over here, move this way, move the other way, then just kind of wander up. And then I just kind of basically hard code the path for all the units, and then they'll just run in a loop. So it looks lively, but it won't actually be lively. Let's run this. Okay, so this is visible. Why wasn't it visible before? Am I crazy? Yeah. Let's see, so it'll just kind of slowly wander up. They'll kind of appear behind the button. Yeah. There we go. That's alright. And then turn back around. Should loop again. Nothing happens. Yeah. And then I can have a dialogue box be like, I guess, random banter on a timer. Yeah. So we can move this down so the dialogue will be more front and center as opposed to the choices. Because I think it makes more sense to have the dialogue just display over the buttons anyways. So this needs to be 0.8. 0.5. Yeah. And then one more panel container to contain the dialogue. So panel container. This one will have the same theme. Boom, boom, assets. This one. Margin, no margin. Anchor. Let's have the same stuff. So that's 3. But you know what? Why am I just doing this all again? Let's just copy this. And then we can move the anchor up. So this needs to be, like a point 0.2. Bottom is 0.5. Yeah, something like that. And then we can set the margins probabilities 10, 10, 10, 10. This one will also be 10, 10, 10, 10. Yeah, and then we can move this even farther up. So top 0.1, bottom 0.6. Oh geez, 0.4. Yeah, so this is like dialogue. Yeah, we can get rid of this VBox container and replace it with a scroll container, so it'll scroll up and down. How nice, add a VBox to it. Yeah, there we go. Scroll container, VBox container, size flags, expand, fill, and then we'll just add labels to signify like random chatter. Yeah. Let's add a timer to it, so I guess chatter. So this will be choice container. Choice container. Or I guess choices. Right? This is up here. It doesn't really matter the order that they're in. But I like having the order. Let's add a timer. We'll call this chatter timer. Chatter timer. Go here. So we need to store the chatter timer. So timer. Chatter timer. Then we can hook it up. So func on chatter. So this is just the timer timeouts. Pretty easy. Chatter timer is equal to, or no, chatter timer connect timeouts on chatter. I wonder if it makes sense to use a timer, or if it makes sense, because what I'm thinking, right, is not here. We'll always spawn in one label, and then that label will have I guess it's just its own script to kind of show, you know, dots, 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 and then it'll show like the actual piece of dialogue. Almost in like a, you know, the iMessage kind of way. I had an iPhone before. Decided I didn't like iPhones anymore though. Once I started, you know, paying for my own phones. Phones are expensive, yo. Alright, just gonna start getting distracted. Let's check Discord. By the way, if you aren't already in the Discord, I have a Discord, which you can find in my description down below, where I post updates on just random projects that I'm working on. So, if you want to check out anything, ask questions about whatever, I'm usually on there. Used to not use Discord at all, but now I'm just hooked in, dude. I'm hooked in. Let's see. Okay, so on Chatter. Yeah, you know what? We can just set this timer to be like really short. So like a wait time of like 0.2. So connect timeout, and then we'll also just chatter timer start. What does start do? The start set the timer, sets the wait time to time seconds if time seconds is greater than 0. Oh, okay, that's not what you want. This wait time doesn't matter. I think I need to define it here. So const chatter time. So this is some sort of float. We'll call it 0.2 and chatter time. Then on chatter again, we'll just do the same stuff, right? Chatter timer start. Chatter timer. Yeah. So we pretty much will always just keep restarting the timer over and over again. That's pretty easy. And then we'll have another function to either display a new line of text, create an, or yeah, it's either add a period to the I guess the dialogue label, or add a entirely new label because you've already displayed the text. So let's have, I guess, dialogue states, enum, I guess chat states. So there's none, which we should never hit. One of these, so none. So there's 1, 2, 3. Or no, send. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, send. Yeah, I like that. So this is, we'll have a var called chat state, which will be equal to chat states none. Or we'll set it equal to 1, right? So if we ever see none, we'll never ever go to 1. So we'll start at 1, go to 2, go to 3, go to send, and then send will go to 1. If you ever hit into chat state none, that means that you hit a bug. So that should be pretty easy to figure out. Let's see. Chatter time, blah blah. Yeah. So let's match. We'll match the current chat state. So chat state, that will be equal to chat states 1. Pretty easy. For chat states, hold on. What's the order? So on chat state 1, we want to create a new label and then also add it to the dialogue container. Unready var dialogue vbox is equal to one of these vbox containers. This is dialogue script container. Yeah, the dialogue. So let's have something called like create new chat bubble. So the chat bubble will be, yeah, it will have one thing in it by default. Well, it'll have a few things in it by default, I think, right? And we can also make it somewhat fancy. Yeah. So we'll do var bubble, which is going to be an hbox container actually. So hbox container new. And so then there's the time and then the other stuff. Oh, That's tough. Now I need to store it. What I should do is I should be storing it. Okay. That's tough. Or what if we do... I guess it's fine, right? So you have var time, and then we'll just add child to it twice, right? So var, this is I guess the time, and it'll get your OS current time, hopefully. So this is the time label, equal to label new, and then the message is also label new. Yeah. So time dot text is equal to OS get current. What's the current time? Current time, get date time. Oh no. You know what? Let's not get too fancy with it. There's just the bubble. There's just the message, I guess, which is the label new, and then message text is equal to dots. Yeah. And then we'll do dialog call deferred, add child message, and then we'll also hold on to the current message, var current message, some sort of label, don't know what, but here we'll do current message is equal to message. There we go. So what we're doing is on a slight timer, we'll add new messages to this box, and then we'll kind of simulate, like, I guess, like character chatter. That's the idea. So create new chat bubble. There we go. So that's chat states 1, 2. Oh, and then we also need to set chat state is equal to chat states 2. States. Chat state is equal to chat states 3. Chat states 3 will go to chat state send, and then in chat state send we'll go to chat state 1. Yeah, there we go. So chat state 1, we always create a new chat bubble. This one, current message dot text, will equal current message dot text plus another dot. This one, also another dot. So it's the same thing. We're just appending another period. So we're doing like the dot 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 kind of thing. Now we need to do like a randomize or generate new message. So func generates message, generates chat text. So this will return a string. So this is var result, some sort of string. Currently empty right now, but then we'll return the result at the very end. There we go. Send current message text is equal to generate chat text, something like that. And then I think what we can just do is results is equal to do add random text generation. So we can test it out, right? That's pretty fast. That's really fast. Should probably be, yeah, like a 1, probably like a 1 second bump. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, and we can also center the text as well. So message, centered, hey. What do labels have? Labels have an ability to, oh, okay, align. Okay, so we want to do message, align is equal to label, align, center. Yeah, okay. Or no, what if we just bounce between left and right? So it kind of even looks like real dialogue, right? So yeah, we'll do bar is left. So true. So we'll do if is left, then message align, align will be label align left, and then is left is equal to false, else align is equal to label align right, is left is true. So we'll just bounce between left and right to really give the illusion that it's like a, you know, two sides talking to each other. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, and I think we also want to do auto wrap is true. Yeah, we do want to auto wrap the text. So message, auto wrap, true, just in case something is like a bit too long. So let's see. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Let's add some random text really quick. There we go. Oh boy. There's a traffic jam in my city right now. Okay. Could really cut into my game development time. Yeah, let's see. You know what? I'm just gonna... Let's just roll a random number here. So match... random... Random range from like... oh no. I think I do need to do this. So we generate random messages. So const... I guess chat messages, which will be just these. So let's type in just a bunch of random strings. So need to deal with the animal menace. Let's see. Why is everyone just texting me now? I do appreciate that they're texting me instead of trying to call me on my phone. Sounds dope. Okay. We need to deal with the animal menace. We additional pylons. just having the second line of dialogue via a meme. That's what's hip and trendy with the kids nowadays, right? StarCraft. Why are my horses so angry? Send help. No. Send help, no. Maybe. Yes. No. Insufficient funds. There we go. And then we'll just do a random range based off of this. So match rand range from 0 to whatever this is, size. And then we also need to round all this down. Actually, no. Why am I doing a match? I just need to do random range and then also round the results. So the result, yeah. So this should give me just a random string. Like so. Random messages like that. Hopefully that works. I think it should. So we're grabbing a random value. So we pick a random index from chat messages. We round it because random range actually gives you a float. And so it will try to round away from 0, which is fine. And then we actually access the message by index and set it to our result string. So this is generate text. Chat text. Yeah. So dot, maybe. Yes, no. I think I just need more. Send help. Send help. Let's construct additional pylons. Okay, cool. Sufficient funds. The animals are everywhere. They destroyed. They destroyed my house, my stable. They turned me into a newt. Something like that. Something like that. And then these options should also probably be randomized as well. That's what I'm thinking. So in the ready function, we can, I guess, figure out how we want to generate more scenarios, right? So once we do that, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Yeah. And then after that, it's just like, the application flow is once you start the game, new game, I'll send you into like a tutorial level that I guess you can just skip if you want. Perhaps. Maybe there's just like a press space to skip tutorial. And then once you actually click, the message will disappear. I think that makes sense. Yeah, so now you have everything here. Boom. I think I'll always start you with at least one animal. Well, I have to, right? I love how they just get sent. Look at that. Press spacebar to go to the next screen. That's weird though. So when I go to this screen, level select, nothing shows up. At least for this kind of thing. What if I do the Z index? I just make it like really high or something. That's weird because if I start this here, it looks fine. Is the level select? Is something happening when I change screens? Combat screen, we go to combat result, accept level select, and we change screen to it. Yeah. So we instance it, and then we change screen to the new screen, and then all this does is main change screen. So we call deferred on the current screen, call deferred add child yield, and then set the new current screen. So that's really easy. So why isn't this displayable, I guess? That's my question. What if we do, so this is already -100. This should be a +100. This should always show in front. And then entities. It's weird. It's weird. Let me try that one more time. Maybe I'm crazy. So break this really quick. Press spacebar. Nothing shows up, huh? But when I load it in normally, everything displays properly. Can I adjust the index? Z index. Set it to 50, I guess. That's weird. That's weird. Why isn't that working? I haven't done anything to it. I'm able to load in the level select screen by itself, right? Yeah, see, this loads in properly. Is there an error somewhere? No, that's fine. What if I throw this onto its own canvas layer? Yeah, throw it onto its own canvas layer. Maybe just keep the camera as well. So what does this look like, by the way? So we just test out this screen. Everything's on its own canvas layer. You know what? That might be it. That might be it. So move the camera onto this canvas layer as well. And then we should be able to... No. Huh? So this is the current camera. Yes. Ooh. Ooh. That's right. This canvas layer doesn't do anything. Let's start the entire application over again. New game. Kill the one building, because it's easier than killing a farmer. Am I crazy? So in combat screen, this is the level select thing that I preloaded. I'm trying to avoid preloading the combat screen again because I feel like that might be an issue. But I don't know. Maybe it's fine. So we preload this. Hard to say. Hard to say. Hard to say. What if we do new screen? New screen is equal to load whatever this is. Instance. One of those. Does that make a difference? Is something with the preloading breaking it? No, that's not it. Well, Why isn't this working? So this display is fine. Is it because there's like multiple layers of Y sorts? So if we change this to be, change type, and so there's like a node 2D, maybe just even like a node, it doesn't really matter. So this should still work. We'll go here. Boom, boom, boom. I'm losing my mind. Am I missing something? Am I missing something? So if we look at... Look at that. My city is closed 3 lanes on the highway in the middle of the day on a Saturday. Absolute mad lads. Gotta love big cities, dude. I suppose it's nice for me because I haven't driven in a little while. I hate driving. Like I've only been in like 1 accident and it wasn't my fault, and actually nothing really got damaged. It was just my license plate that kind of got a little dented. So I was like, you know what? Enjoy your day. I'm gonna go. Yeah, but other than that, you know, and how old am I? It's roughly, I don't know, roughly 10 years, I guess. I didn't actually start driving as soon as I could start driving. Because I was like, I don't want to drive. Driving sucks. Yeah, it's nice to have a car, I suppose, because it allows you to go places without being dependent on others. But now that I actually make, you know, or I guess now that I don't have to go places to do stuff, because, you know, I do most of my requisite human stuff online. So, doesn't really matter. Hold on. I'm losing my mind. Title menu. Bring me to here. We want to... Let's just go straight to level select instead of doing all of this. Boom. Bar, new screen. Instance. Alright, so let's just load directly in. See, this works. Am I crazy? Hold on. So get rid of this. Load these back in. Oh, no, that's the quit button. Very good. Go to new game. We'll fight some stuff. Oh my god. What? Huh? What? So if we go directly to that screen, it's visible. But if we load it in from... If we load it in later, it doesn't work. I don't know, let's do this. Maybe it's like freeing the current resource. That sounds like it would be extremely incorrect, but like that must be a bug then, right? Oh my god. I think I found a bug. I think I found an engine bug. I found an engine bug. He's done it, I think. Is that documented? I think that's a bug. I think that's a bug. And look at that. Oh, someone actually started my Godot snippets repository. That's pretty pog. Godot. So if you free and unfree the same resource in the, I guess, the same frame, I guess it'll just go away. Hold on. Call deferred free queue free resource. I don't know. Am I like the only person dumb enough to do this? Is that it? So, right. So keys free the current screen, then we add this one, and then we. I don't know how to explain it. That seems like a bug though. I don't know how to explain the bug though. I keep saying though. So if we go here, we can look at the entities. See that there's a sprite, but there's nothing associated with it. But if we mess with the ordering, then it works. I feel like that's wrong. I feel like that doesn't make sense. Or maybe I'm just like abusing like call deferred a bit too much. Oh, you know what? Alright. My ride is here. So thanks all for tuning in. I'll be live later on tonight to try to finish up the rest of this game. So I think this is more or less okay. I think I need to have like a title. So this is like the UN's table, and I'll need to have like a, I guess like a council or whatever, a UN style thing. And then you'll have buttons to like, I guess, select your response. So like we'll have like, I'll label this like UN dialogue, and then this is like the UN, I guess, choices, you know? And then after that, it's just making assets, cleaning everything up, creating the scenarios. So there's a lot to do. Yeah, let's do all of this. Hold on. Git add all, git commit, add level select. Fix bug with loading, unloading resources in queue free / call deferred. There we go. But yeah, thanks all for tuning in. I'll be live later on tonight to finish up a lot of the asset generation and also like the, I guess, the core gameplay loop. But yeah, we're pretty much, we're halfway there, which isn't too bad considering we are, I guess, halfway done with the entire compo. Yeah, let's find someone to raid. Is anyone doing Godot and Ludum Dare? There's me. There's me, that's weird, number 2. Let's see. Yeah, there's, it looks like Outfrost is doing, game is already working, last guy. Metaract? Wanna raid Metaract? Metaract. I don't know, let's send it. Anyways, I'll be live later on. Join the Discord if you want to stay updated on whatever's all the software that you can kind of see here. So this thing is available on my GitHub. This is also available on my GitHub. All right, goodbye. Get sent. And oh, give my channel a follow if you haven't already. Bye bye.